Yeah, this server is ridiculous. What the heck? 312 ping is pretty bad. Latest video, you were talking about Rawatz and Mzxy in this event and totally forgot about Khaled. Oh, I forgot to mention Khaled was in it? Whoops. Will EU and NA winner play after? Maybe, but I mean, you never know. If it's a Middle Eastern player and a US player, that's kind of easy to do. Otherwise, it's kind of hard.
Really appreciate all the events you put on.
What are these 320 ping servers? Am I crazy? Or we're on EU servers? Yo, EU! Thank you for the 4 months, man. 4 months of Prime. Really appreciate the events I put on. Hey, thank you. Let's see what the deal is. Yeah, what's the deal with Mzxy? Who is just rocking a million billion ping. What up, Demonifying? Can we get him less than a million billion? We can! The other semifinal. We got to watch both semifinals. Normally that doesn't happen, but I think the other bracket has been going fairly slow. So we got Gomb versus Mzxy. Mzxy, who I have a hard time saying his name, but that's kind of how it says. It's not Mzxy. That should be the important distinguisher. This is not Mzxy. And take a look at his Fennec and guess where he's from. I have a feeling you're probably going to guess Saudi Arabia, and you'd be right. Because that is where he's from. Oh my goodness, Gomb. Gomb putting the super juice on this shot. I'm going to watch it from the defender's perspective. Holy cow, 155 kilometer per hour. I don't think Mzxy made that. I don't think he touched it. That was 155 off of Gomb's hit. That was filthy. Atal versus Toxic in the lower bracket. That is some crazy stuff, man. Both of those guys deserve to, you know, I think those are my 1-2 that I said would move on. So them having to eliminate each other is definitely surprising. But I think we can all be at least a bit surprised. Maybe we shouldn't have been at Flakes' run right now, who is absolutely popping off in this tournament. Was the one to initially send Toxic to the lower bracket. Mzxy gonna get his first goal as he places it behind Gomb. Gomb has been playing well in the tournament. Doesn't, to be honest, won't matter who wins this because they lose to Flakes. So the plus side of winning this game is that it will put you in 2 straight qualifying best of 5s, as opposed to maybe having to play some more best of 3s and a chance to get back to a qualifying game. You definitely want to win, even if it were true, which I don't think it necessarily is, that these guys are destined to lose to Flakes, whoever is the one to challenge him. Just pretend you're drunk and saying me sexy, and it should be easy. No, I'm gonna skip that. I'll just try and continue to say how I thought I was saying. Mzxy. Gomb, look at him go. Look at the Gomb man go. Off the wall reset, just inside that box. Still launches it to the far post. Why is everyone so excited for Flakes? If you haven't seen Flakes play before, Donnie, maybe you're newer to the 1v1 scene, haven't been watching for a long time. Flakes was once a top ones player. When I say top, I mean, you know, best in the world type ones player. And he is a very popular, entertaining streamer and YouTuber. So people are excited to watch him be back in the game and be as good as he's been playing. Gomb with a 4th. Gomb's in the flow state right now. He gets a well-deserved what a save from Mzxy, and then bombs a shot in for a 4th goal. He lost to Khaled in Salt Mine 1. Yes, he did. You're new to the 1v1 scene, but you've watched Flakes for ages. Yeah, Flakes has... I mean, Flakes is... It's surprising that you aren't into the 1v1 scene as a Flakes fan, since that's where his most success definitely came from. Wave dash kickoff from Mzxy. Gomb was able to recover in time. Actually landed about as awkwardly as you could. I thought he was going to be able to make it work still, but no. Mzxy does get a third goal. Mzxy. In there. Gomb's going to pre-jump the air dribble, intercepts it perfectly, and he is just showing the utility of the power shot right now. At the end of the day, all you need to do is hit ball hard. Hit ball hard, and it'll likely work out as he gets an 83 km/h power shot across the whole field. Mzxy, though, straight kickoff goal to win it back. Did Flakes win Cosmic? Yes, Flakes is in the grand final. Can you talk about why Clears, Dark, and Nupo are not participating? Clears had a tournament, a 3v3 tournament. Dark had an obligation, late obligation after confirming that he could not play. Nupo never accepted the invite. Those are your 3 explanations for those players. Gomb carrying Mzxy away. And the way Gomb's been playing, you almost expect just another power shot off the bounce. And Mzxy might have expected it as well. That's why he chased down and made sure it didn't get to that bounce. Both with dribble reset. Gomb, oh my goodness. Gomb is absolutely filthy right now. He is clean with the mechanics. Mzxy thought he could challenge early. No, you're wrong. Gomb has the perfect follow-up as well. Why can Rawas play but not Clears? Because Rawas did not have to play the qualifier, but Clears was going to have to play the qualifier. So Rawas, who is going to be playing later in the week, I believe tomorrow, he will not have a conflict then, but they did have a conflict today. Mzxy, interception and a 5th. I mean, as much as Gomb has been popping off and getting clips, he has not created a ton of separation between him and Mzxy. Is KV1 playing this time? KV1 is signed up for the North American qualifier. Assuming he checks in, you never know. Mzxy trying to dribble into that top corner. Gomb stays waiting there, gets the save and the counter. Bernovi did not play. Flakes is warming up with Mzxy. Yo, that is a good place to warm up. Mzxy, though, refuses to get sent away in this game. 34 seconds. Gomb trying to jump and backflip into the challenge. Leaves a bit of a window for Mzxy to go underneath. Gomb to the side wall. Can he resist this perfect of an air dribble setup with a 1-goal lead in 30 seconds? Well, the way he's been playing, there's really no reason to resist. He has been safely attacking and effectively attacking through the air. Mzxy has this save, and I believe just stole that corner boost, so it's not going to respawn for either of them. Now 10 seconds left to go. Gomb needs to hold on. Push to the side wall. Is he going to go up to meet this one? He is. And a carry to the ground should be able to end the game. The roll will give Gomb the Game 1 win as he tries to get a ticket to play Flakes in the grand finals. Is Rizzo playing? Rizzo is streaming it, but he is not playing. Reverse sweeps, I feel like they barely count in best of threes. We really call a best of 3 reverse sweep, a reverse sweep. I guess it still is. It's just the tiniest little reverse sweep. Game number 2, Gomb and Mzxy. Gomb was able to hold off Mzxy just barely through the first game. Can he do it again? Gonna have to play from behind, as he's pretty clearly not going to be able to challenge this in a way that will keep it out. I mean, his shadow position was not one that leads to a likely save. Big dash kick out from Mzxy. We saw him taking to that the previous game as well. This one's working out, I feel like, as good as he could hope for, but he's actually not going to come away the clean possession. Gomb is going to force him back into the corner. So now the pre-jump from Gomb was maybe enough to change Mzxy's mind for what attack he was going to do. He ended up finishing with just a lame chip towards Gomb. That's what you have to credit defenders who are really, really active behind the ball for. Every time you see a weak attack finish, because after what was a very active defender behind the ball, you have to give them the credit for likely changing the mind of the attacker into something much less effective. I have a feeling if you just camp behind the ball or just camp on the ground and wait, Mzxy doesn't just tap the ball straight at him, you know? You almost have to dance behind it to convince the attacker to give you such an easy play. And it's not an easy thing to do, because all it takes is one wrong turn and you put yourself out of position. Look at this shot from Gomb. Everybody turn back in. If you're tabbed away, looking away, you want to see this one. Gomb chipping it up, pre-flipping underneath the ball and tapping it with that last tire to put it past Mzxy. Yo, Dr. Known. I don't know if you guys could hear that or see, but what it says is, sorry for today's tournament. Promise I'll do better in the next tournament. That was Dr. Known tipping $20. Dr. Known, man, thank you so much. You do not need to donate, and I have faith in you. I know you're gonna get better in each tournament. You're definitely grinding the game. I think everyone's excited to see Dr. Known's improvement. Thank you for playing today, Dr. Known, and thank you for the $20 donation. Bit of a stagnant midfield game between these two in the past minute or so. So we're tied 1-1. Gomb's going to launch a hook shot, and Mzxy's able to control it. Really wants to get underneath this bounce dribble. It seems, maybe not, actually. Playing it just a couple bounces in a row into the 104 km/h shot of his own. Gomb was closely shadowing, and his reverse shadow, or I guess it's just regular shadow, and it's not a reverse shadow, but the shadow behind the ball has not been the best. I feel like it's not covered too many of Mzxy's options. He's been able to break through it multiple times. Bump, try and push Gomb past the ball, but did not succeed. So Gomb still gets his quick shot. Mzxy recovers though. Gomb to himself up the side wall, faking the musty, and Mzxy stops him before he can continue. Nice flick over the top. Should be a third goal. It is. 3-1. Gomb, second goal as he breaks away. Flakes, Mzxy on 0 boost. People talking about flakes in chat. And I'm reading it and saying those words. Gomb not going to get the midfield. Gets a really favorable bounce though. Not electing to shoot it immediately, which I would have expected him to do with 0, but instead he uses it to work a possession into the corner and take 100 boost. Did he leave the net open? He did not. Actually recovers with ease to get this save, and he's going to make Mzxy leave the net open. Oh my goodness, Gomb. He has been popping off. This is such a smooth catch and carry. He needs a musty if he wants to get it there. And he finds a powerful one at that. 108 km/h to flick it in for the tie game. Gomb got caught. Moving in towards the midfield to make Mzxy feel his presence, but Mzxy was ready for the immediate shot from the very beginning. Gomb not going to take the wall to air dribble, instead hooking a power shot directly in net. He's got Mzxy awkwardly on the post, but couldn't get up for this first chip. He just launched Mzxy into the ball, and he did not set himself up for a shot. At least not one that Mzxy couldn't save. So a minute left to go. These two just mirroring each other with the bounce dribble hook shots. Gomb launches an immediate counterattack. Should be able to control this one with relative ease. And Mzxy does not get a demo either, so Gomb to the air, dribbling towards the back wall and forced to just let it bounce. Does grab the corner boost. Early challenge on the shadow, works out better than his previous shadows. And big miss by Mzxy. Net could be open. Gomb goes opposite corner. I think he just missed, or actually probably was going to bounce in. But Mzxy covers it. That was the corner that Mzxy was going to be able to cover without having to use much boost. But that being said, Gomb is still going to tie this up. Catches at the midfield as Mzxy tries to escape. And Gomb does not want to go to a game 3. Handy Zandy, they give it a tier 1 for 2 months. Do you agree with me? All the Middle East games are similar to Khalid Ahmad. I don't know about that. Mzxy. Oh, look at this 1-2. He took a similar shot from distance before, but much more effective closer to the net. Gomb, another super wide setup on defense. No, he touches the ball. It's not enough to keep the ball out. So maybe he is going to have to play a game number 3, because that is certainly not it. That should just end the game, as Mzxy is going to follow it up for a 6th. 6-4. Game number 3 incoming. Mzxy probably has a little bit less notoriety to his name in ones. Gomb has had some recent success in various tournaments, but Mzxy has always been a top player in my mind. This would be certainly a way to prove it to the world if he could qualify to the main event. Game number 3. The game decider. This is still a best of 3 in this semifinal. Either Gomb or Mzxy gonna get the chance to play Flakes for a spot in the Feer Fest finale. One of the biggest prize pools in 1v1 that we have seen in a long time. $15,000. Thanks to all the people who followed the stream and all the accounts who each were the donators of $1 per follow. You demand a refund for your Feer bucks because you thought Mzxy was Mzxy. No, hey, that's your own fault. You got to be aware of the 1v1 scene. I think Mzxy has qualified for a tournament of mine in the past. I'm trying to remember which one. But I know that he has played well and maybe even qualified for a previous tournament. Yo, Dr. Known. Dr. Known tipping another $10. Says, I just want Khaled to win this. Yo, maybe he will, man. He is in the pool play. He's in pool A, I believe. A tough pool. Well, all the pools are tough, really. Has a chance. Thank you for the $10 donation. I do stress, though, that if you want to just chat in the chat, I will respond to you. I promise. But I do appreciate for the now $30 donated. Gomb gonna have to play from behind after the first minute. Mzxy might even be able to get another one through a missed touch. Is Jack playing? Jack is not playing. Jack couldn't play this tournament. I also like, you know, it's just stuff you have to deal with as a streamer or as a tournament runner or whatever. People will notice that Jack's not on the list. They'll be like, no Jack invite, L. Like, do you guys really think that I didn't invite Jack? The reason why he's not on the list, do you think it's because I didn't invite him, or do you really think that? Gomb, wait, is he gonna be able to finish off with this bump? Oh no, Mzxy escapes. Mzxy a third. Yeah, L no Jack invite. Yeah, it's like, do you think I didn't invite him, or do you think he didn't accept? Which one do you think it is? Do you think MENA players are the most professional Rocket League players in the entire scene? No, I don't think so. I mean, just by pure size, right? I'm sure if you counted up the pros, there's most US pros. But I wonder if Saudi Arabia is actually pretty close, because they have a lot of people in their league, all from Saudi Arabia. Or I should say mostly from Saudi Arabia. Probably not quite as US based as the North American region is, though. 5-0. This is quite the run for Mzxy to finish this one off, especially when it felt like Gomb was on the verge of getting a 2-0. Now he's going to have to get 5 straight goals just to tie the game up, which is make it 6 straight goals just to tie the game up. Everybody in chat who accidentally bet on Mzxy thinking he was Mzxy is happy to see him pulling out a Mzxy-like performance here in this game 3. Wow, 7-0. He figured something out. Is Saudi Arabia ranked first in the best 1v1 mode? Yeah, I think Saudi Arabia probably has to be your number 1 1v1 nation. I mean, they did win the World Cup, which you could just point to that recently. But I also think with their peak and their depth, I don't think it's really an argument. With France and US probably being the next best arguments, but the US isn't super deep. Kind of top heavy. Gomb needs to forfeit? Not necessarily. I mean, Gomb, we're just over halfway through the game, which means Gomb could get the same kind of run that Mzxy got. He's got time to do it. And forfeiting now forfeits the series. So it's not often that you want to forfeit a series. Gomb trying to get an opening here at the near post with Mzxy, but not going to be easy to find one, as Mzxy could borderline drop the controller, and that car is still decently sized to prevent Gomb from making his way through. 9-1, my goodness. Would not have expected this game 3 after watching the first 2. Gomb needs a rush of offense right now, and he is not finding it. We saw him playing so speedy before. Now, forced to try and milk every possession, even when on 0 boost, has left him playing slow around Mzxy's net. 10-1. It is an absolute blowout right now. Mzxy bumps back into his own corner, gains control, expects an early challenge from Gomb, so he pops the ball immediately. Gomb had turned away. Gomb should get a second goal here. 10-2. 8 goals in 1 minute. Not impossible, but not likely. And the way it's going to have to happen is just exactly how Mzxy just scored. Oh no, Mzxy didn't finish it. But how Mzxy could have just scored is how Gomb needed to score every single kickoff. And then he would have been okay. Is that how Mzxy... Listen, I'm not about to tell you that I'm pronouncing a Saudi Arabian name perfect ever. But I believe I've talked to him about it before, and he has said Mzxy. I think he's talked to me about it. – 12-2. I think it's over for Gomb, but his tournament run isn't over, and he's actually not going to have to play any best of ones. He does fall to a best of 3 section of the tournament, the lower bracket. Stop the game, he's already dead. I did create this one, so this one I actually do have admin over. So I could end it, but I think it's just going to end naturally. Nice save. Mzxy just completely stops a fiery Gomb. Mzxy versus Flakes in the grand final. Who had that on their bingo card? We'll be back with Flakes versus Mzxy coming up next.